Good day, everyone. Welcome to another day of learning. Welcome to Institute of Global Professional Free International webinar. Thank you all for joining with us in this marvelous session, and I hope you stay with us till the program ends. And time to time, you like our Facebook page and subscribe our YouTube channel for upcoming information. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. And I feel honored to host this webinar, and it's my delight to welcome you all to our Institution of Global Professional Free International webinar. Once again, I am Kamrul, coordinator of IGP from Bangladesh. Every day, some new participants join with us, so I have to give little concept about IGP. Institute of Global Professional Service community and students resource providing holistic social work and education for create a competent generation. IGP is a leading online skill development institute with thousands of learners worldwide. We organize our webinar, seminar, training, online and offline courses, etc. by best and trained speakers from all over the world. Our mission is to empower our youth. So stay with us by your support. Before starting our today's program, I request everyone to share this webinar in your news feed and social media. And don't forget to mention your friends in the comment box to join this session. Before we have completed our 838 successfully. Now I will be presenting webinar number 839, and the topic is rethinking tourism industry in the post-pandemic. Today we have a brilliant speaker from Philippines. Today our speaker's name is Marie Jel Dator. She is an instructor at the Department of Hospitality and Tourism Management, College of Home Science and Industry at Central Luzon State University. She is also a research consultant and provincial coordinator. Let's we welcome our speaker to the screen. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, good day from the Philippines. So let me share my screen now.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Give a short description about yourself, then you can study your presentation.
Okay, so good day everyone. I am from the Philippines. My name is Marija Bautista, faculty from Central Luzon State University, and my passion is with tourism. So this is my second speakership with IJP, and previously I've tackled with both industries, the hospitality and tourism, but now I'll be focusing with the tourism industry in the post-pandemic context. Okay, so I guess I could formally start now my discussion with the topic rethinking tourism industry in the post-pandemic. So again, thank you, Mr. Camrol, for that very wonderful introduction, and good day. So again, I would like to thank IGP for the second speakership. So thank you for the trust and opportunity to share globally, particularly in the facets of tourism industry. Thank you, and also acknowledging my students who are supporting me today, my family. Hello, everyone. So, this session somehow is a prelude with my previous topic, but it's more extensive and focused with the tourism industry, aligned with the coping mechanisms of the industry, particularly those tourism MSMEs. So, the first concepts are important for us to understand well are the context of hazard, exposure, vulnerability, risk, crisis, and disaster. So first, let's have a glimpse of what is a hazard is all about. when we talk about hazard, this is the potential occurrence of natural or man made event. And when we talk about exposure and vulnerability, first, let's define what is exposure all about. Exposure is the presence of the people, the resources, the infrastructure or assets that could be adversely affected, while vulnerability is the degree to which a place is susceptible to or unable to cope with the damaging effects of hazard. But take note that once the hazard has been combined with exposure, the result is what we call risk. Risk is when a hazard happens in place which the people or assets are exposed and vulnerable. This hazard becomes risk. And in worst case scenario, a crisis or disaster may occur. So talking about this context, it's when a risk is no longer merely a possibility, but instead it becomes reality. So this might lead to either a crisis or a disaster. So these are the concepts that I want you to take note with throughout the discussion. So um, risk is determined probabilistically as a function of hazard, exposure, vulnerability, and capacity. And when we talk about capacity, it is a combination of strengths, the attributes, and resources in a destination to manage and reduce the risk. Next is let's differentiate now a crisis and a disaster. When we talk about crisis, these are usually more predictable, these are man made, with an observable build-up of longer duration. And a disaster, on the other hand, are generally more sudden, they are less predictable, they are caused by natural forces and shorter in duration. So the pandemic that we are experiencing right now can be coined as a crisis. So, what and why do we have to take note of tourism destination resilience? And what is resilience, by the way? So, since the COVID-19 outbreak, resilience has become one of the buzzwords among practitioners and academics of all different sectors affected by the pandemic. And in tourism, other terms that gained relevance include rebuild, bounce back, build back better, but resilience stands out as not only a strategy for recovery but as end goal. And this is what we are all eyeing for. This is sustainability. Well, tourism destinations across the globe realize that we are not ready to deal with a global scale health and economic crisis. So this made all tourism stakeholders from the destination management organizations to hotels and airlines ask themselves, how can we recover from this but also make sure that we are never caught off guard again? So, in other words, how can we be resilient to any other crisis that may come? So, to better define resilience, it is the ability of a system, community, or society exposed to hazards to resist, absorb, accommodate, adapt to, transform, and recover from the effects of a hazard in a timely and efficient manner. So, this includes the preservation and restoration of its essential basic structures and functions through what we call risk management. So why TDR? So previously, prior to the onset of pandemic, all that we are doing is to draft tourism destination, or I mean tourism development plan. But now, since that we've experienced the pandemic, it is not TDP anymore. So what we are in need of right now with our local destinations is a tourism destination resilience plan, or TDR, which is both a process and an outcome that enables tourism destinations to withstand adversity and bounce forward from crises and disasters. And that at TDR's core are the concepts of these three factors. We have the risk assessment, the risk management, and adaptive capacity. So this requires preventive actions in preparation of a crisis, responses during crisis, and recovery after crisis. So let's take a look into this illustration. So resilience actually a prerequisite of sustainability, that in order or prior to achieve what we are eyeing for sustainability, we must assure first that the destination is resilient. So this means that that for a tourism destination to be sustainable, again, it must be resilient. So looking into the illustration, there are the three factors that I mentioned a while ago. So first is for the risk assessment. So this is the process now of identifying, mitigating, and preparing for risk. Right after assessing the risk management follows, or the process of assessing, evaluating, and treating the risk. And lastly, this is what we term as adaptive capacity. So this is the process of designing the strategies, the policies, and institutional frameworks that contribute to the adaptation to changes. And that is how we would be able to be, or to state that our local destination can be uh, serve as resilient now, or the ability of a system to withstand adversity and bounce forward from crisis and disasters. And looking forward with what we eye for sustainability, or the ability of a system to be sustained, of course, for future generations and to endure in the long run. So there are different resiliences which can be addressed in a tourism destination framework. So we normally think of resilience in terms of natural disasters, but we can take a broader view under the umbrella of environmental resilience. So this would involve resilience of a destination to risk, not just from natural disasters such as earthquakes or storms, but also with climate change, habitat destruction, biodiversity loss, pollution, wildlife mismanagement, waste mismanagement, and resource mismanagement. And when we talk about health and safety resilience, these are poor sanitation, food contamination, food insecurity, water insecurity, injuries and accidents, toxic chemical hazards, mental health neglect, political instability, and conflict, crime, and terrorism. Next, we have here community resilience, as it entails dependence of community on tourism, income inequality and resource inequities, degradation of culture and heritage, gentrification, or this is when the local residents tend to be displaced from their local communities. Then disempowerment, violation in human rights, over tourism, and other hidden social costs of tourism mismanagement. Economic resilience, which results to financial crisis, financial leakages, unemployment, dependence on one or few markets, seasonality, disruptions to supply chains, and mind you, we have this tourism supply chain, and irresponsible or unethical sourcing of goods and services, levels of corruption and that hinder proper investment and development. And we also have this term, visitor resilience, which are miscommunication, social media influence, outdated governance and systems and technology, delayed government responses, and inadequate infrastructure, the visa restrictions, and damage the reputation of a destination. So, why do we need a TDR? Destination managers and tourism ministry stakeholders need to know and understand the risks their destinations face. And they need to know how those risks can be managed and how they can come out of a crisis and attain the goals of sustainability, just like what happened with the pandemic that we are currently experiencing up to until now, even though their restrictions has been lifted, but still we have to be prepared because there could be I'm not saying that there would be, but since it's unpredictable, we can never can tell, and all we have to do is to be ready and prepared. So this is important as the tourism industry is one of the largest and broadest industries in the world and is a key driver of the global economy, but also highly exposed to the risk of unexpected shocks and disruptions. So by understanding and preparing for risk, we can ensure not only that destinations and the people will survive the disaster, but also that they return to normality more quickly. So the following cases highlight the vulnerability of tourism in destinations across the globe. So let's take a look into these scenarios. First, the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami caused a reduction in tourist movement in the region by almost 40%. The 2009 global economic crisis caused a decline of 4% in international arrivals and a drop of international tourism revenues by 6%. The 2005 Bali bombing saw hotel occupancy rates on the island fall from 70% to below 20%. Next, the 2010 eruption of the um, Eyjafjallajökull in Iceland grounded over 100,000 flights, causing airlines to lose about $1.7 billion in just 6 days. And we are all aware of this, that due to COVID-19, international and domestic travel has essentially shut down, with 2020 international arrivals shrinking to just 27% of the year before. So, um, these are just some of those examples of the shocks and disruptions that affected the industry. And behind all those statistics are communities, livelihoods, and jobs that were disrupted or at wars destroyed, not only by the disaster itself, but also by the loss of tourism and other economic activities. So, at any particular moment, there are destinations which are actually struggling, local or domestic natural and industrial disasters, economic and political crisis, and some of this may even be caused or magnified by climate change. So, in the wake of COVID-19 crisis, travel and tourism has a real opportunity to help drive recovery and fulfill its potential as a critical sector in our transition towards greener and more equitable society and economy. So today, more than ever, tourism destinations are facing several challenges, and that is what we've mentioned a while ago, which includes environmental, technological, even leadership or political issues over tourism, and more recently, which is the pandemic. So all calling for a responsive mode that makes destinations more resilient against these disruptors. So, tourism destination management must maximize the value, diba? The value and quality perception while ensuring the competitiveness and sustainability of the destination. So, let's have a question now. What is destination management? Destination management consists of coordinated management of all elements that make up a tourism, such as the promotion through visitor services, training, business support, and any management gaps that are not being addressed. So, destination management should be concerned specifically with ideas on the future of tourism and should adopt a coherent risk management process towards what we eye for sustainability, and prior to which is destination resilience. Here are the following benefits of effective destination management. First is increasing resilience and sustainability. Second is enhancing tourism quality and yield, spreading tourism benefits, boosting competitiveness, strengthening governance, and involving, of course, the local community who are primarily affected also with this tourism and impacts. So, what makes a tourism destination successful? So traditional parameters for measuring success, such as solely integrated with economic considerations. However, this led to many complications like over-tourism, commercialization of culture, environmental degradation, economic leakage, congestion and pollution, and damage destination reputation. And thus there is a clear mismanagement when tourist arrivals are perceived to be more favored than the destination's culture, environment, and community well-being, of which, as what we mentioned a while ago, what we are after for with these local destinations is in the long run, the sustainability. If we are just after with the arrivals, the influx, and the receipts, I don't know if we can still be able to sustain those destinations. So more is not always better. That is what I wanted to emphasize with this one, that the destination management organization should consider the more important social, cultural, aesthetic, natural, spiritual, and historical dimensions. This requires good planning and management to minimize the social and cultural conflicts and prevent tourism from negatively affecting the local traditions and the values. Let's take a look into the case study, particularly in the Philippines. So, the stewards of the Puerto Princesa underground river in Palawan, the Philippines, agreed to limit visitors to preserve the nature experience despite other stakeholders' objection that, of course, the more tourists would benefit the economy. But that's why the competition for the current capacity is adjacent with TTR, because we are actually have to compute for the current capacity again, because a destination has to be resilient, and that is what we've mentioned a while ago, that we have to think value and not volume. So when taking this approach, destinations should avoid the practice of greenwashing, which is creating demonstrations just for commercial purposes. And then let's have a deeper perspective. So by looking into the illustrations, of course, we'll not be enticed with traveling to these destinations, which is really over crowded, and this is what we call over tourism. Let's take a look into the difference between a volume focus versus a value focus. When we talk about volume focus, the numbers are, of course, easy to quantify with, to record with. And on the surface, it looks good. The more people, the more money. And this is just involves money, money, revenue, profit. But when we talk about value focus, it is unique. It provides genuine experiences provided by the local people, and a higher percentage of money stays in the destination. This is what we call yield management. Next, for the volume focus, more people who come, the more problems that you have. Exactly. And measuring the percentage of people coming is in a simplistic manner of looking at tourism. And with mass tourism, only small percentage of money stays in the destination. While for those contexts of value focus, adventure travelers spend more time than ordinary travelers, and local people benefit directly from tourism, and it gives opportunity for local people to own the tourism business and stay in their communities. Just like in Halong Bay, Vietnam, when I visited Halong Bay, I was very proud to say that they are empowering the women community because of this women-led tourism MSMEs. So now, let's rethink tourism through destination stewardship. Destination stewardship should be an essential element of tourism's recovery, with the potential to maximize the benefits for all, from the tourists to the communities, environment, heritage, industry, and government. So let's start by looking at the specific criteria for management structure. And the pictures that I'll be flashing here today are examples that we have in the Philippines and even with the other countries. First is destination management responsibility. So the destination has an effective organization, department, group, or community or people's organization responsible for a coordinated approach to sustainable tourism involving the private sector and civil society. So this group has defined responsibilities, oversight, and implementation capability to manage socio-economic, cultural, and other pillars of tourism. Next is destination management strategy and action plan. The destination has a multi-year destination management strategy and action plan and publicly available, suited to its scale, developed by stakeholder engagement and based on sustainability principles. And the strategy includes identification and assessment of the assets that the local destination has, including the socio-economic, cultural, and environmental issues and risks. And lastly is monitoring and feedback. And mind you, this is really vital because even the feedback from the tourists can be addressed. The destination is implementing a system to monitor and respond to socioeconomic, cultural, and environmental issues and impacts arising from the tourism and the local destination. For us, the actions and outcomes are regularly monitored, evaluated, and publicly reported for transparency, and that the monitoring system is periodically reviewed. Next is the DMOs should strive manage holistically with full regard with this what we call as sense of place, which focuses on history. It actually depends on the destination, but these are the factors that we wish to emphasize with for sustainability. History, culture, archaeology, traditional architecture, geology, religious and spiritual sites, cuisine, arts, and crafts. So, before diving into the different diversification strategies, we need to know the factors that might determine the successful implementation of the diversification process that we're tackling a while ago, which includes accessibility, the possibility of revising the image, and this is what I'm currently doing right now with the brand analysis of the local destinations, and the nature, distribution, quality, and location of attraction, especially in relation to the main concentration of accommodation and servicing the gateways for transfers have, or we have to tap with this tourism value chain. Next is the capacity of the host communities to meet the expectations of international visitors in respect of service and quality of product. And then the nature of and commitment to a national tourism strategy by the government, which can turn into policy soon, and pre existing tourism resources, cultural and natural tourism assets, as well as human resource and skills, or the training and imparting with knowledge with the local community who may be able to take part in the operations of the local destination. So let's take a look into the potential advantages. of these various tourism types. So, for larger resorts and hotels, resources to support training, the ability to invest in environmental management systems, the potential for market diversification. For the MSMEs, they may be located in areas of economic needs, able to deliver authentic experience, highlighting as well the culture in terms of the food, the crafts, and the heritage. And then profits may be retained in the community because, as what we mentioned a while ago, they are the primary beneficiary and they should not be displaced in the community that they are into right now. Next, we have here community based tourism, or the community awareness stimulating local support for conservation of culture and nature, products owned by community with sharing of economic, social benefits, and increased visitor awareness and support for community, and what we term now as responsible tourism. Next, we have here ecotourism enterprises, like growing market interest, should be designed to minimize environmental impacts, support communities, and conservation suited to sensitive protective landscapes. Activity tourism enterprises, adventure tourism, leisure and recreation, they have strong recreational benefits. Potential to extend the season can generate new tourism in remote rural areas. And lastly, we have here cultural tourism enterprises, supporting conservation of heritage and cultural richness, potential to extend the season and to increase visitor awareness as well. Let's take a look into this case study of Thailand. So, Designed Areas for Sustainable Tourism, or DASTA, is a Thai agency responsible, among many other tasks, of bringing creative tourism strategies to the National Economic and Social Development Plan of Thailand. This is a very good example because these strategies focus on unique Thailand culture, way of life related, for example, the urban and rural lifestyles, artworks, paintings, performing arts, folk music and dances, meditation, cuisine, and Muay Thai. So also, the Tourism Authority of Thailand has chartered a value-based strategy with the goal to move Thai tourism industry from offering that before, what they're after is the value for money, but now exactly this is since they are eyeing for sustainability and they taking part of actions with resilience. For experience has been emphasized by creating value tourism products and upgrading product standards and also empowering the local community. So first, tourism diversification must be an essential part of any solid marketing and management strategy for destinations to improve adaptive capacity and increase resilience ultimately. So the main diversification strategies involves new products, product development, market segmentation, and a focus on community segments instead of demographic ones. DMOs can actually support diversification, and even the local government units, the government, even the private entities, by promoting mobility, identifying the need for basic infrastructure, and supporting innovation to enhance, of course, again, what we've mentioned a while ago, the value for experience. Resilience in tourism also means safeguarding the health of visitors, the local people and staff, creating more diverse income streams for the local economy, paying greater attention to equity and inclusiveness, and a better understanding of a large scale context of tourism globally. And thus, achieving tourism disaster resilience entails minimizing the impact of these disruptions and quickly resuming operations, and that TDR sustains and increases the industry's competitiveness by protecting the enterprises and supporting jobs and livelihoods. And that ends my discussion for today with the topic rethinking of tourism industry in the post-pandemic. Thank you very much, or in Tagalog, maraming salamat po.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. I hope our participants learn something new from you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Kamrul. Thank you, IGP.
Ma'am, now we are going to our quiz competition, and after that, we come back again with our Q&A session. Okay, ma'am? Okay. Dear participants, now we are going to our quiz competition. Today, our quiz code is IGP quiz. The code is IGP quiz. Let's enjoy our quiz video. Hmm. নাস্তা টাস্তা হতে হলে আর একটা 11টা পর্যন্ত যেতে হবে। Dear participants, this is our quiz session time. You can join this session by slido.com. And today our quiz code is IGP quiz. The code is IGP quiz. You can scan this QR code from the screen to join this live quiz session. And today top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. Our Facebook page address is Institute of Global Professionals. I request everyone to join with your full name, which will directly print on your quiz certificate. Now 63 participants already joined with us. We start our quiz competition after 1 minute later. So join the hurry up. I remind you that there is no relationship between quiz completion certificate and free international webinar certificate. Now 85 participants already joined with us. The number of participants are increasing now. 92 participants already joined. After a long time, 101 participants join in this quiz session. Let's start our quiz competition now. Be ready. Our first question is, which careers would be found in the your tourism industry? Is it marketing manager or construction worker? Option number one, marketing manager is the right answer. Our next question is, tourism is a relatively low-key industry that doesn't contribute to the economy or lucrative business for nearly all countries across the world. Quiz টা দেখছো exam? Option number two, lucrative business for nearly all countries across the world is the right answer. Our next question is, one of the following is not an impact of tourism. Is it often little money gets filtered down to locals or the environment remains in good condition? Option number two, the environment remains in good condition is the right answer. Our next question is, which is a characteristic of the travel industry? Is it normal 8 hours working days or open 365 days a year? Option number 12 and 365 days a year is the right answer. Our next question is, which is a positive impact of tourism? Is it see a lot in a short time or increase income for local visitors? Option number two, increase income for area visited is the right answer. Next question is, which is a negative impact of tourism? Is it costly for an individual or collapse local economy if sole source of revenue? Option number two, collapse local economy if sole source of revenue is the right answer. Next question is, hospitality and tourism careers will increase because of which of the following? Is it lower travel cost or high rated restaurant? Option number one, lower travel cost is the right answer. Our next question is, I think I would like to work in the tourism industry and help people who want to travel. I find my current job is too uninformed or unrewarding. Option number two, unrewarding is the right answer. Next question is, which career is not directly related to tourism? Is it river guide or automobile mechanic? Option number two, automobile mechanic is the right answer. Our last question is, what section of the umbrella of tourism would Lollapalooza fall under? Is it event management or travel? Option number one, event management is the right answer. Thank you everyone for your active participation in this quiz session. And congratulations of our top 10 quiz competition winners. Top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. Our Facebook page address is Institute of Global Professionals. Thank you everyone. Now we are going to our Q&A session. After a short video clip, we come back again with our speaker. Hello, ma'am.
Hello again, Kamrul.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, this is our Q&A session time. You can send your question in the comment box. Ma'am, our first question is, good afternoon, ma'am. And the question is, what are the signs of over tourism?
Okay, thank you, Floby Salviejo, for that question. So when we talk about over-tourism, the science includes pressures placed on local resources and facilities due to growth in numbers, changes in culture, and loss of authenticity. And this includes also the deterioration of quality of life for the host community and feelings of irritation and annoyance due to the presence of tourists. In other terms, when a place or a local destination is actually crowded out. So that is over-tourism.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next question is, why is over tourism a problem?
As mentioned a while ago, because it can actually cause various negative impacts, such as the changes in culture and the loss of authenticity. So, just to provide you a solution with that particular question adjacent to it, is to properly be able, I guess I want to encourage all the local destinations to actually craft. In computing first the carrying capacity. This actually really mean a lot because they have to analyze the size of the destination, and of course the number of tourists that is allowable only with the destination. Again, what we mentioned a while ago, what we're after is the value for experience and not just with the value for money. So again, hello, Miss Sylvia, for the question.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next question is, can all destinations be resilient?
Yes, indeed. Thank you for that, Miss Roveline. It's a very, very good question. Actually, we can start off one by one. We can start from one small local destination that we have up to identifying a particular tourism circuit and then a tourism cluster, which is on a bigger perspective. Yes, indeed, all destinations can be resilient. You just have to plan properly, coordinate with the TMOs, with the local government you need, and even tie up with the private entities. And it's a matter of embracing as well the local community. As mentioned a while ago, they are the primary beneficiary of the destination and they are primarily affected as well. So we have to really take part in providing empowerment with the local community. And abiding all of this and mentioning that resilience is actually a prerequisite of sustainability. Again, I really do agree that all destinations can be resilient. Just be able to properly manage that particular destination. Thank you, Ms. Rovelyn, for this very good question.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful answer. Dear participants, we are still waiting for your question. If you have any question related to this topic, you can ask the question in the comment box.
It's really a good platform that IGP utilizes this particular type of learning paradigm for everyone to see and communicate globally with various perspectives. Thanks again, IGP, for this great opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. And today, lots of participants are attending this session. More than 100 participants
Yes, I would
in
also
that
like to thank
session.
all the participants. Thank you, Kamrul.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I hope there is no more question.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, ma'am, for your wonderful answer and sharing a valuable knowledge with our participants. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, what is the last and final words for our participants? Okay, dear participants, today our program name is Rethinking Tourism Industry in the Post-Pandemic. And today our certification code is IGP 4854. The code is IGP 4854. Please note that go to download your certificate or take a screenshot of this picture. To download your certificate, you have to go to our website. Our website address is edyzp.com. Website address is edyzp.com. To download your certificate, first of all, you have to go to our website. After that, you have to create an account on our website. Then you have to enroll today's program, and today's program name is Rethinking Tourism Industry in the Post-Pandemic. After enrolling the program, you have to put the code, and the code is IGP 4854. Then you can download your e-certificate. After downloading your e-certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP checking. Thank you everyone for your active participation in this live session. I hope you learned something new from this session. Thank you everyone. We hope we'll meet together in our upcoming session. Thank you. Stay happy and stay safe.